hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip
Politics for a second, man. You said that you were from you of Nigerian descent. I see that you originally were born in Nebraska, then you eventually Lincoln, Nebraska, then moved to Chicago. Talk about your upbringing. First and foremost, how did two Nigerians coming into America adapt in fucking Nebraska? Because I don't know any black person from Nebraska.
And well, Malcolm X was born in Nebraska.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he's born in Omaha.
Okay. Well, that's what's
great. One of our greatest leaders ever is from Omaha, Nebraska. I did a show out there last year, and that was my first time in Nebraska as an adult. And I went to the area where Malcolm X's house was built, where he was born before they destroyed it. And there's like Malcolm X, like little areas. Also, Gabrielle Union's family's from Nebraska.
Oh, okay. So there are
the unions are a big family in Nebraska. There's a lot of black people in Nebraska, which is crazy weird. Right. You know what I mean? So my father was a teacher, was an educator in Chicago for 45 years. And here's the thing, Malcolm X College in Chicago. And my father was getting he got a teacher's scholarship to this school. It's called Dana College outside of Lincoln, Nebraska, of Omaha, Nebraska. And so that's where I was born, because my parents had to move there from Nigeria to Nebraska, of all places. But that's a very immigrant thing. Immigrants, whether they're Indian, whether they're Arab, they always move to all white towns because you're just trying to find a new, it's opportunity. Mm-hmm. That's why you'll see like Africans, there's a lot of Eastern Africans in Minnesota. Minnesota is white as shit, and these people come from a hot climate because it's just opportunity. Right. Opportunity. You see a lot of Kenyans that are in Dallas. Nigerians run Texas, but we've been coming to America since the 50s. So it's just opportunity. My father had an opportunity. We would have either been born in London or America. My father chose America. And so I grew up in Chicago. My sister was born in Nigeria. Okay. And there was a civil war, Biafra War. That's a very famous Nigerian tribal war. But it was really over oil because England colonized us, and and we were liberated in 1960, European bullshit. Yeah. So I grew up in Chicago. My brother was born in Chicago. So my sister and my parents had the green cards, you know what I mean?
Word. It's such a rich history of comedy in Chicago. We talked to a lot of comedians. Chicago all day. What influenced you to get into comedy?
Oh man, shit. Growing up, when you're little, I played baseball for a long time. I wanted to be a baseball player. Then I wanted to be football. Then I wanted to be track and field. Then I wanted to be an astronaut. And then when I got to college, shout out to University of Illinois, Big Ten. I was like, Tommy Davidson had come to our college and performed. This is when he was like the shit, when he was in Living Color, Boom Boom Boom. And I was like, in college, that was when I was like, I think I want to do comedy, because I was very militant in college. We had a nice little African-American studies group. You're talking about a university with 45,000 students and 800 black only. You feel me? So yeah, so we were dealing with that, but all the black people stuck with each other. We, all the fraternities, we had the biggest fraternity system in the country. We had all the black fraternities, all of them, Kappa, Sigma, Iota Phi Theta, Q Dogs. We had everybody. We had the Zetas, the IKAs, SG Rho. We had Deltas, all of that shit. So we all were like a community on campus, and from there, I was studying a lot of African history and African American history, and I became like kind of rebellious. In college, you're a fake adult in college. You know what I mean? You're fake. You think you know shit until you run out of food and you got to call your mom and dad.
Yeah.
To send that care package. Yeah. So I went away from college. So yeah. So that's when I said, man, I think I want to do comedy, because I was a pre-med psychology major. Okay. That's what I studied in college, was psychology. And I got my degree in psychology. So I said, I don't want to be in a classroom. I don't want to be in an office. I don't want anybody telling me to shut up. I don't want nobody telling me shut the fuck up. You're being too loud. I said comedy would be the place where I can be loud and I can actually tell people to shut the fuck up and be okay and not be fired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I got influenced watching Tommy Davidson. And then when I got back to Chicago, I started to do open mics, shit like that. And I actually was in a comedy team for like a year with another cat. It was weird. I tried the duo shit. Then that didn't work. And I remember Steve Harvey, there was a club in Chicago called All Jokes Aside. It was an all black club, black owned, not Black Night at a white establishment. It was black owned, 7 days a week. Oh. And then from there, I remember doing my duo shit and Steve Harvey, which is hilarious. I don't know if you see my videos, right? But Steve,
hey, you be going in on man, Steve.
Yo, but I didn't even know that I was the only one imitating them. I just do it. It's just fucking who cares? And Steve Harvey, he's seen the videos, and I'm still doing them too. Fuck that. He's the one that influenced me to do comedy on my own. Because, Steve was coming from Dallas, whatever. And I used to watch Steve Harvey as an amateur comic coming into Chicago. And I remember one time he just told me to yo, man, your partner, man, cut that motherfucker. I remember Steve said, cut his ass. I remember that shit. He said it, cut his ass. And I cut his ass. He's like, cut his ass. And so I cut Steve. And from there, I just started doing comedy. And that's when I met Bernie Mac. I met Bernie. And that's when me, Dion Cole, and I brought Corey Holcomb into the game. I kind of forced Corey Holcomb on stage because Corey from Chicago. So it was all of us. So I would see Cedric the Entertainer from St. Louis come in. I met DL. That's when I met Mike Epps. Mike Epps from Indianapolis. Yeah. Mike Epps. So we were all these Midwest. So Chicago had a really, really, really fantastic. Also, another brother named Evan Lionel, who's out of, he's from Chicago, but he's been in LA for 25 years. And he's one of the founders of Chicago comedy. Evan Lionel, look him up. Evan Lionel, he was tight with Bernie Mac. He literally helped Bernie Mac on his feet when Bernie didn't have no money. See, people don't know about that. He has footage of Bernie Mac doing an open mic. You feel me? Wow. Bernie Mac wearing a tracksuit, not rich, no nothing. So Evan Lionel, please look that name up. E.L. Yeah. Evan Lionel. He's one of the first dudes to put money in my pocket in Chicago. He's the first dude to throw comedy shows in Chicago. He literally took me. I was the first time I ever performed for the Armed Forces was Evan Lionel. Evan Lionel is not talked about enough. And he's still out there rocking, doing shows in Los Angeles, and he literally got Bernie on his feet. Real talk. You know what I mean? So he was my big brother. So that's where I started. And I remember doing Bernie Mac used to have, it was a place called the Cotton Club in Chicago, and he had an open mic, you know what I'm saying? And I remember because I was doing mainstream comedy, and I said, hey, I want to do some black shit. I want to make sure I could do both sides, And there's like some cat just telling me you should go to the south side of Chicago, man. Because I grew up on the north side of Chicago. And they say, yo, you got to go see Bernie Mac. I said, who the fuck is that? They say, yeah, he got to open a variety show on Mondays. And so I made sure I set out my day and planned it. It was an 8 o'clock show, I remember. I came around 7:30. And Bernie Mac on stage. I see this motherfucker going, hey, motherfucker, let me tell you, I'm sick and tired of being motherfucking sick and tired. Fuck all that shit, And so I was like, oh, is that Bernie? I said, what? And, when you guys have learned about Bernie, that was a Chicago way to talk. When he'd be like, you son of a bitch, I'm telling you shit. I'm saying, motherfucker, shit. So I met him for the first time. And from there, that's when everything started rolling, man. I just started doing his nights on Mondays with Dion Cole and, D-Ray and Corey Holcomb, and all of us were there. Everybody would come through. Lisa Ray's from Chicago, Common, the Bulls. That was when the Bulls, we was getting in that ass. Yeah. Jordan, because Michael Jordan and Bernie were close. You know what I mean? And Ahmad Rashad, all the motherfuckers would come, man. Chicago was popping. Late 90s, woo! Mid 90s to late 90s, oh my God. Like, are you kidding me? So that's how I started. And then I started coming to New York City. I started coming to New York through TK Kirkland. I know, have you guys interviewed TK Kirkland?
Yeah, we know that nigga, man. We got some stories about my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.